I'm back home. Now it is time for the debrief. What a night. What a trip, honestly. I have so much content for this trip outside of like the Eras Tour and Taylor Swift that I decided I'm gonna make 2 separate videos. Let's start with the beginning. Transportation to Hard Rock Stadium. We stayed at the Marriott Hotel. It's like the Fort Lauderdale Airport Hotel. There's like a whole story on how we ended up there. Watch my next video where I explain the chaos that was Miami and how I ended up being at this hotel. Actually, it's so chaotic that I don't know I'm gonna post it, but we'll see what happens. So we get to the hotel super early. As soon as we walk in, there's a whole station for like friendship bracelets. It's like Taylor Swift everything in the hotel. This was not planned. Like, we didn't know that it was like a Swiftie hotel until we got there and we saw everybody in Taylor Swift merch and we were like, okay, cool, we're in the right place. And I was like, was there any chance that there's like a bus or something that will take you from the hotel to the Hard Rock Stadium? The only reason I even bothered asking was because there was so much Taylor Swift stuff in the lobby that I was like, maybe there's a chance. Later on, he contacted me and was like, we actually do have a bus. Here's all the information. It was super easy. I called the number on the form that he gave me. Somebody else is gonna call you to get like your card information and whatnot and give you even more details. So I was like, cool. So I went to the lobby. I met the guy who was like running the bus shuttle service, I think, or something like that. It was $60 round trip. If this was $60 one way, that would have been a steal. So $60 round trip, I was like, this is a blessing from above. $60 round trip is so cheap. I meant to check the Uber prices while I was at the show and totally forgot. But I just know that the Uber prices had to have been like over $100. I wouldn't be surprised if they were over $200. So there's 2 bus runs. One is at 3 o'clock. The other one is at 5 o'clock. The show starts at 7 o'clock. So I was like, let me take the 3 o'clock bus because I want to get merch and I hear that the merch lines like are insane. I didn't know if they were going to sell out of stuff. So I was like, let me just get there as early as I could. And if I'm sitting in my seat for hours, like that's also fine. So 3 o'clock rolls around. I go to the lobby and I'm just, waiting for my bus. I expected this lobby to be full of people waiting to get on the bus because the entire hotel were all Swifties. And even the guy in the front was like, everyone that's here is for Taylor Swift. Everyone. There's just girls everywhere wearing Taylor Swift merch. And not just the hotel, Miami. Anywhere in Miami that we went, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. Everyone was wearing her merch. We knew why everyone was in Miami that weekend. I'm the only one in this lobby and I'm like, there is no way that in this big ass building of Swifties, not a single one of them is taking the shuttle bus. But lo and behold, I was the only one from my hotel that took the bus. So I love doing things by myself. Something about it is very freeing. You only pay attention to yourself. You only have yourself to worry about. However, in this particular environment, I knew that like people were gonna be there with their friends. Like everyone goes to the Eras Tour with like their friends, like a group of friends or their best friend. I've actually never seen like a TikTok or anyone like going to the Eras Tour on their own. So I was feeling like this is gonna be so like I'm just gonna be sitting in silence and like everybody is here with their friends. As soon as I stepped on the bus, everyone was like, you're wearing Reputation. Oh my gosh, I love your earrings. I love your outfit. Your makeup looks so good. Like everyone just started complimenting me. I felt like I got a huge hug from everyone on the bus the second I walked in. Everyone was so friendly. So then I sit down and I'm like, guys. I literally did that. I was like, guys. I said I was so nervous that like my outfit wasn't like that great. I was like, so thank you guys so much for being so nice to me. Like, so then we just started talking and I was like, this is my first time I'm seeing her. Like, I'm so excited to see her. How many times have you seen her? We're just like sharing stories of like our like fandom. This bus is really just like a little shuttle. There's like maybe like 10 of us on this bus. It's like me sitting here. This mom is sitting next to me and then her like little daughter is sitting next to her. And the little girl was like, I really like your earrings. If it's one person I'll take a compliment from, it is a little girl. Like a child, they don't lie to you, all right? They're so brutally honest. They have no reason to lie. So whenever I get a compliment from a little girl, my heart flutters. It means more to me than getting a compliment from anybody else. Oh my gosh. I was getting compliments from little girls and I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. Also, I should add, the people who were on the shuttle before I got there were from other hotels. So my hotel was just surrounded by a bunch of hotels and the shuttle went around and like picked everyone up and then brought us to like, it's called a rally bus. It was just a packed bus with Swifties. So before we get to the big bus, everyone is like, we should exchange numbers so that tonight we can like find each other. And I was like, yes, like absolutely yes, because I'm here by myself. We need to like stay in contact in case anything happens, we can reach each other. So that's exactly what we did. We started a group chat. The mom didn't participate in the group chat, not for any particular reason. I just don't know that she heard them talking about the group chat, but like she was a mom. Like she cared that I was by myself. So she's like, I want to have your number. So like if there's any issues with the bus, like you can let us know and we'll let you know, whatever. So we exchanged numbers as well. We get on the huge bus, we get to the show. Our hotel was 15 minutes away from the Hard Rock Stadium. It took us over an hour to get to the Hard Rock Stadium. That's how much traffic there was. The line to get into the venue, it was very long, but like did not take long at all to get to the front. I feel like that was the fastest part of the night actually, was getting into the stadium. So as soon as I get into the stadium, I'm like, first things first, I need to get merch. So there's a sign that says merch 111. There's 3 tiers at the Hard Rock, and it's 3rd row, the 2nd one, and the 1st one. I am following the signs to 111. I am not kidding. There is just a mob of people everywhere. Like there is no line. So the Hard Rock Stadium, for anyone who hasn't been there, it's kind of like honeycombish, where it's like spirals downward, and that is where the line was. Like you just see it looping around, and we're like, where does it start though? Does the line start on the 3rd section, or does it start in the 1st section? There's just people everywhere, and there's really no signs directing you where to go, but there is a sign that says line starts here, and it's on the 3rd section. But there's a line like going through that. Let's say the sign is right here that says like line starts here. There's people all the way over here and going like all through the line. So what do you mean it starts here? That looks like the middle of the line. So I'm there and I'm confused with other girls who were on like another bus that like got there at the same time as mine, and we're just like, what the, like we're just gonna stand here because this looks like a line. So we're standing there for like 20 minutes. We finally get to the front of this line that we've been standing in, and it's not even a line. The line that puts you into a mob of people. There's no way. We just waited for 20 minutes and it was for nothing because we weren't even standing in an actual line. So we just started merging like with the mob of people because there is nobody here directing anything. There are no signs directing anything. They literally just want us to like fend for ourselves. So we were like, it's gonna have to be what it is, and people are gonna start to get pissed off because nobody is clear on where the line starts and begins, and like you're probably cutting so many people to get into this line without even realizing that you're cutting so many people. We spiral through this entire thing. It goes up all 3 sections of the stadium. You finally get to the top where it says the line starts here. You think you're about to approach the end. You are wrong. You have to walk through now the entire rooftop, and it's swivels like this. The line literally goes like this on the rooftop. After you just waited like an hour to get through the entire walkway up to the top of the stadium. When I'm on the rooftop, I can see a door that leads inside, and I'm like, okay, that is where the merch is. I finally make my way to the door. It is a staircase to bring me back downstairs. The line started on the 1st floor and then swiveled all the way up through the 1st floor, through the 2nd floor, through the 3rd floor, around through the rooftop. You're swiveling like this through the rooftop. Then you go inside, then you go back downstairs. You're not even just like going down the stairs. The line is on the stairs. You don't get to just walk down the stairs. You're waiting online on the stairs. I have never seen anything like this in my life. That I finally make my way down the stairs. Now I'm about to approach the doors where I can get inside, and I'm like, this has to be where the merch is. Like there is just no way that there's more of a line. There was more of a fucking line. It was insane. It was insanity. So then you get inside and you do it again. You just swivel up and down and up and down. I am not kidding. The merch line had to have been over 2 hours. That was for me, who left at 3 o'clock knowing the show started at 7. So imagine the people who got there later than me. And what's crazy about this too is that they released merch on like Tuesday and Wednesday before the show. So if you had a ticket to the show, you could have went to the merch booth early to get your merch. I obviously do not live in Miami. I wasn't getting there until Friday anyway, so I couldn't go any other day prior. I had to wait until the day of the show. And I was seeing on TikTok that a lot of people were at these merch booths prior to the show, and it was like a couple hours long. I ended up losing like the people who I was even there with. Like we all just like dispersed because it was just so crazy. Like there were 61,000 people. 61,000 people. It's one thing to like hear that number in your head. It's another thing to literally like visually see 61,000 people, and 61,000 people trying to do the same thing at the same time. Crazy and quite the experience. Before you get to the merch booth, there's like posters that show like all of the merch with like numbers next to them. I was like, as soon as I get there, I know exactly what I'm saying. I want a small in number 8 and I want a medium in number 2. And that is exactly what I did. And I got my merch and I was like, you know what? Worth it. So let me show you the merch that I waited 2 hours to get. This is her. That's the Eras Tour. Oh, it's upside down. It says the Eras Tour. And then on the back, check her out. Look at that. I got this quarter zip in a size small and it still is oversized. I would say that the sweatshirts already run oversized. So just get like your typical size and it will likely be oversized. And then I got this t-shirt. This one I sized up in because I wanted it to be like extra oversized. And I feel like it's not extra oversized. This one I feel like I probably could have went even larger. But I got this one in a medium. Look at how beautiful. It has all the tour dates. Oh, it has like the states on it, not the dates. Now, where is Miami, Florida? Because I don't see it. Oh, there she is right there. Real beautiful. Honestly, worth the money. The shirt is very thick and like super soft. Like it's actually great quality. I wish that I bought more, but I didn't. I know that she has like an online store also with a bunch of tour merch. Like I personally wanted to get the merch at the actual venue because I felt like that just adds to like my experience of like having the merch and like going back to my hotel and being able to wear it. Also, like this quarter zip is on pre-sale, so I wouldn't have even been able to get it right away. There's definitely tour merch, but I don't think it's necessarily the same as what you can get at the booth. So that was that. Now, after I left the merch and I was going to my seat, I bumped into like one of the moms who I was in line with, and she was like, they sold out of everything that I wanted. So if this goes up before the New Orleans show, and if you're watching this in preparation of your New Orleans show, I'm hoping that they will have a better setup than the Hard Rock Stadium did, because just based off of like TikToks that I was seeing, it seems like this is a Hard Rock Stadium issue, not like a Eras Tour issue. There is only one place to get merch as opposed to having like multiple areas, which I think is why the line was ridiculous. But I would recommend, if you are going in New Orleans or even to like the Canada dates, I recommend going to the show super early. Like as soon as they allow you to get in, I would just go. If you're there early, who cares? Like you'll just sit and wait. You can like get food. You'll be fine if you're early. It'll really suck though if you're late. Rather safe than sorry. Luckily for me, I got what I wanted in the sizes I want, but I know that there were a lot of people who this was sold out when they got there. The t-shirts were sold out when they got there. I really don't know how there wasn't enough stock. I just feel like with Taylor Swift, like whatever inventory you think you might need for this tour, you're gonna need about 1 million more. Double whatever you think you need for the show, because it's kind of sad that like people waited on that long ass line and then couldn't even get the merch. So I know Gracie Abrams also had a bunch of sold out stuff, which is wild too. My tip is to get there super early. Like get there as early as you can if you can't make it to like one of the earlier like merch dates. Now, the actual show. Is this camera crooked? I don't know if that helped at all, but so I was told that Gracie Abrams was coming on at 7. She actually ended up coming on at like 6:45. I think everyone was under the impression that she was coming out at 7. So once we heard her from outside the like seating area, everyone just started like running to go see her. There was literally a line to get into like the seating area now. So I'm like, you know what? I do love Gracie Abrams, but it's okay. I'll just listen to it from here as I wait. I wasn't like crying about it, but there were literally girls crying because they wanted to go see her, and like the security wasn't even letting us through because there was too many people. Finally, I get in, I go to my seat, what I thought was my seat, and there's a little girl sitting there. I go to the mom, I'm like, is this the correct seat? And she shows me her ticket. She's 131 seat 14 and I'm 130 seat 14. So I'm like, is this not 130? Like I just don't know what section. Like there's just so many people here. I don't know what section I'm in. And she was like, 130 is that way. So I go that way and there's another girl in my seat. So I say the same thing, like, is this the correct seat? I'm looking for like 130 seat 14. And she was like, oh, 130 is that way. So the mom told me to go this way. It was really that way. So I had to go 2 sections over, which doesn't sound like a long time, but there were so many people that I couldn't just cut through the sections. I had to literally get out and come back into the stadium. So I do that and I have to wait in line again. This is all happening while Gracie Abrams is performing. I wait in line again. When I finally get to the front of the line, I go to the security. I'm like, can you just show me where my seat is? Because I've done this like 3 times now. So he like points like, this is where you need to go. I'm like, cool. I get there. There's somebody in my seat. Oh, I just want to sit down. Like my feet are killing me. Like I just want to sit down. I want to watch Gracie Abrams. Like, oh my gosh. So I go to the girl. I'm like, hey, this is my seat. Like now I know for sure, like this is my seat. And she's like, yeah, like we're all here together. She's like talking about her friends. And I'm like, but did you book this seat? And she was like, he could explain it better. So she like gets her friend, and her friend is like, so we booked seats 12, 13, 15, and 16, and your seat 14, which is like right in the middle of our friend group. And he was like, so can you just like switch seats like they'll move to your seat and you'll move down to the other seat. And I was like, no, I can't do that, because if I move seats with your friend, that means I'm gonna be like 2 seats over off center so that you 4 people could be more towards the center. I just want to explain this, like why I felt like it was a big deal. So I paid a lot of money for this ticket, which I am not ever divulging how much I paid. We'll get into that in a second. But I paid a lot of money for this 1 seat. So even having to move over 2 seats was a big deal, especially because I was moving further away from the stage and I am very short. So having like 4 of you guys to the side of me and the stage is over here, I just felt like there's a chance that you guys are gonna block me or somebody else is gonna block me. Like I'm not really gonna be able to see because I'm so short. So like what sounds like it's only 2 seats over felt like that is a lot. Like my seat costed more money than like that seat that was 2 seats over. So I say, like, honestly, like I don't want to do that, but if you want to move further away from the center, then we could do that and I'll sit in your seat and you guys move down. I feel like that is the better alternative because you're moving 1 seat over where I would have to move 2 seats over. Also, you guys are all taller than me, so it kind of only makes sense for us to do it that way. Also, this is like a favor to you guys so that you can be with your friends. They kind of like seemed a little irritated at first and then they were like, it's fine, like we'll just do that. So then whatever, we switch. I'm like more in the center now. They're like right next to me and I just feel like this is like not what I wanted. Like it felt so awkward because I like doing things by myself and like making friends when I go places. I feel like it's almost easier for me to make friends with people when I'm by myself than when I'm with a group of people. But now I just felt like there's 4 of you guys and 1 of me, and if you guys really wanted it to be a problem, it would become a huge problem. You could literally ruin my night if you wanted to do that. I just felt uncomfortable because I was like, I don't want this. Like I wanted to be friends. Like I wanted to make friends with whoever I was sitting next to. And in my mind, I'm like, I just wanted to be your guys' friend. And like now this is weird. Like now things are like awkward. And I did not want them to be awkward. So the seat right next to me, even closer to the center, was empty. And it was empty throughout the entire like Gracie Abrams set. Gracie Abrams left, it was still empty. So I told the girl next to me, I was like, look, if nobody comes and sits here, I'll move down and then you guys will have your seat back. And like none of this would have ever mattered. And so they were like, oh, like don't worry about it. Like honestly, we get it. Like there is no problem. And I was like, thank you for saying that because I did not want there to be an issue. It's just like, this is a big deal. Like this is the first time I'm ever seeing her. I just did not want there to be an issue. And they were like, honestly, we probably wouldn't have moved either. So like, it's totally fine. So then I actually tell them how much I spent on this ticket. I have never told anybody how much I spent. I anticipate to never share the amount because it's nobody's business, okay? I know how much I spent. I feel like it was worth it. I got my money's worth for sure. And so I explained to them, I'm like, this is my first time seeing her and this is how much I spent for that seat. And they were like, oh girl, like say less. Like you deserve to sit in that seat. Like do not worry about it. And I felt so much better because I'm like, thank you for like reassuring me that this wasn't weird. They ended up taking like a bunch of pictures for me because obviously I was by myself. I had no one to like take my photos for me. And then at one point, like Taylor Swift had asked like who here is like their first time seeing me, and like the guy like looked at me and it just made me feel nice because I'm like, it's a big deal that it's like my first time seeing Taylor Swift. I think that there are people who get these tickets on pre-sale and don't even realize that they are surrounded by people who spend a ridiculous amount of money to be here. So where you have gone to the show 5 times and you spent like $300 per ticket every time you win, there is someone who is here 1 time and will only be here 1 time and spent more than you have spent in 5 shows just going to the 1 show. And I'm not saying this about the people who are sitting next to me because I don't know anything about them. For all I know, this could have been their first show too. I'm just saying in general because I was definitely seeing it throughout the show. Like there are people who you can tell these people have gone several times. You can tell they're going to all 3 nights in Miami alone. I hate when like you go to concerts and someone just ruins it for everyone. And I'm really saying this because I did go on TikTok and there was someone who explained her like horrific experience. She got hers on resale, so she also spent an insane amount of money. And this woman like tried to stand in front of her with like 5 other people blocking her view, and like it was just a crazy story and it made me really sad because I just know how upset I would have been if somebody chose to ruin this night for me. It's easy to be like, well, don't let anyone ruin your night. Like you don't really have that control. Like someone can really just say, I'm gonna ruin your night. I'm going to make this night miserable, and it will be exactly that. Like I don't have control. If they wanted to be assholes to me the whole night, it would have ruined my night. I could have ignored them as much as possible. I could have given them the attitude back. I could have done whatever I wanted and it still would have ruined my night. Like the experience would not have been the same. So I'm very happy that they were like, honestly, like we would have done the same thing because that just made me have a better night. I was able to enjoy the night better without feeling like I have to look over my shoulder to make sure that they're not doing anything funky. Usually I don't really care about other people and I'm like, just what the fuck ever, bitch. I'll ignore you or I'll say what I gotta say when I gotta say it. I have been to shows before where I've gotten into fights with people. It ruins the night. If you're one of those people that likes to just ruin people's day, like stay home and ruin your own day. But like I was saying, all of this that I'm saying right now is not about the people who I was sitting next to. I'm solely talking about like the people who I was seeing on TikTok. I actually am grateful that the people I was sitting next to were not that way because like I said, they definitely could have been assholes and ruined my night and they did not. Moving on. So then this girl comes, she's like 2 songs into Taylor Swift performing. As Taylor Swift is performing, she keeps like looking back at me. And I'm not looking at her, I'm kind of just ignoring the fact that she keeps turning around to look at me. And then I finally like looked down at her and she was like, are you here by yourself? And I was like, yeah, are you here by yourself? And she was like, yeah, oh my god. And we just were like such girlies about it. She was like, do you want to sit here? She literally was offering to like share her seat with me so I can be closer to the stage. I was like, girl, no, because I don't want to piss people off. Like I just felt like if I did that, it would make it more uncomfortable for the people she was next to because there would be less space, obviously. You know, we could chat after the show, whatever. We ended up doing that. Like at the end of the show, I took a bunch of pictures for her. She took a bunch of pictures for me. I'm just super like friendly and like bubbly and like we were just bonding over the fact that like we came to the show thinking we were gonna see a bunch of people who were alone and we ended up not seeing anybody who was alone until that very moment. But it was really nice and sweet. I want to talk about the actual show itself. So the surprise songs that we got, Lost in My Life, Get Out of Here, Get Out of Here. That I wanted that song and I was like, that we're just not getting it because I thought she performed it somewhere else, which she might have done it somewhere else, but maybe with like a mashup of something else or maybe not a mashup at all, whatever. I don't care. All I know is we got Lost in My Life, which is one of my favorite, if not my favorite song off of this new album. We got Shoulda Said No, we got Did Something Bad, and we got White Horse. The mashup of a century. It was insane. I was screaming as you saw in the video.
To the table, talking rings and talking cradles. I wish I could recall how we almost had it all. Dancing phantoms on the terrace, all defected and embarrassed.
I could not believe that we got Lost in My Life. Also, when she performed Champagne Problem, she got a standing ovation. It was literally like over 4 minutes straight. Over 4 minutes to the point where like I was recording it and I had to just stop recording because I'm like, this is just not gonna end. I have never in my life heard screams like that before. Like the way the screams were ringing in my ear. The screams were louder than like the actual show itself. The people were louder than like the speakers in the venue. It was so loud. Honestly, well deserved. Like Champagne Problems. Give it up for Champagne Problems. Like, that song is so freaking good. She really killed it. I do not know how she does this in heels. I mean, she literally says it in stilettos for a mile, even when I want to die. That was more than a mile. That was 3 hours. Gosh. Just to have that amount of energy for over 3 hours straight and you have no intermission. The only breaks that there were like when she was changing her clothes, which literally was like under 60 seconds she was changing her clothes. Even if you're not a Swiftie, like even if you don't really care about her music, like you can't deny that this woman is talented. Like she is talented and she is dedicated because over 3 hours and she has been on this tour for like 2 years now. Insane. I also got friendship bracelets. I traded some of mine and got some other ones. I think what you're supposed to do is trade for your era. So if I made a bunch of these bracelets but I was dressed as Reputation, then I would trade them for Reputation bracelets. I did not realize that that's what it was. I thought we were literally just giving each other friendship bracelets. All these little girls were giving me like these friendship bracelets. Of course, the ones that they chose were like the ones that Logan made. And that was really to be expected. The ones that I got, someone gave me Rep, Taylor's version. Someone gave me this one, which isn't Reputation. This is off of Tortured Poets, and it's I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. So cute. A little girl gave me that one. Then this one also says Reputation on it, and then this one, a little girl also gave me. It's Enchanted. Someone took the Enchanted one that Logan made. 10 out of 10. I love this whole friendship bracelet trend. So now I have to go find my bus. The exact spot that my bus dropped me off at is the exact place where I had to go get my bus. Now I am very good remembering landmarks. I'm not good with like directions, like northwest, east, do not even. So tell me that it's next to a McDonald's and I'll find it. So I'm very good at remembering these things. That's usually how I get places and how I get back from places is just remembering, which is also why it is very important, especially if you are going by yourself, that you are paying attention to your surroundings because there is so much going on. If I would have been on my phone nonstop, I would have been more lost than I already was because there was just so many people and it was such a huge stadium. Mute your phone if you need to. So I go to the stadium and I make make a left, and that was my mistake. I had forgotten that like I did so many like loops and swirls and swivels and going downstairs and going back upstairs to get to the merch that like the way I was going wasn't the way that I actually came in from, because so much had happened once I actually got in that it was like there was just no way I was gonna figure out how I got out. So I made a left turn and I had to literally like, let's say the door to get out was here, my bus was over here, and I walked this way, so I had to literally like walk across, like walk through around the entire stadium. So then the girls are like texting the group chat, they're like, whoever gets there first, like just tell the bus to wait, whatever, drop your location so that we could see like exactly where the bus is. Specifically remember that we were dropped off across from a Heineken sign. As soon as I got off the bus, I was like, just remember the Heineken sign. Got out the stadium, I'm like, I just have to find the Heineken sign, and it literally was all the way around the stadium, so whatever. So find the Heineken sign, I'm like, okay, this is where the buses are. I get to where the buses are, and the lot is full of buses. When we were dropped off, there was only like 2 buses there. The whole lot was full of buses and shuttles. I'm like, which? I don't even remember what my bus looked like. So I text the group chat, so she like sends a picture. I guess she took a picture of the bus when we got off of it, and I'm like, perfect, where is that bus? She was like, it's the 4th white bus over, like when you walk in. I find the bus, I go to the guy, I'm like, hey, I'm staring at the Marriott. He's like, which one? I was like, Fort Lauderdale Airport. He's like, which one? I'm like, that's the name of the, I don't know. So then I was like, I think it's like Denia, like something like that. It's in like that area. And he was like, but is it like Marriott, or is it like Marriott Courtyard, or is it Marriott AC? Or I was like, literally the hotel just says Marriott. And he was like, okay, like you can get on. I get on the bus and I see like the girls who I was on the bus with before. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. And then the mom was like, oh, I texted you like to make sure that you were okay. And I look at my phone, I'm like, you did text me, I'm sorry. Like for anyone who was texting me during the show, during Miami at all, you either weren't getting responses or you were getting very late responses, because I was so in the zone. Let's get this rolling. Let's get this show on the fucking road. Mind you, I did not say this, Taylor Swift's set was over 3 hours long. I thought it was just 3 hours. It was over 3 hours long for her set alone. And then Gracie Abrams, I don't know how long she was on, probably like 30 to 45 minutes. I feel like her set was really short. And again, this place that we were all staying at was like 15 minutes away from the stadium. It took us hours to get home. We were stuck in standstill traffic. The windows were also like fully tinted, so I couldn't even see if we left the parking lot or not. I'm like, are we outside the stadium or are we still in the damn parking lot? All I know is everybody fell asleep. It was a silent ride. But yeah, so then we finally get dropped off at our hotels. We like part ways. I'm like, bye guys. Like it was so nice meeting you guys. Such a fun little experience we just shared together. And that was the end of my night. My tips for outfits. I would say to go with the comfier one. I am so happy that I made the decision that I made. You are on your feet for over those 3 hours that she's performing. It is just such a long show and a long day in general. And even being as comfy as I was, my feet were still like in shambles by the end of the night. If I did go with the red outfit, I was gonna like pack a pair of shorts and then put a t-shirt on over it, like whatever t-shirt I bought I was gonna wear over it. And then lastly, my opinions on going alone. I love doing things by myself. It feels really freeing. It is a little easier for me to make friends when I'm alone. I feel like it's a little more weird when I'm with people and then I try talking to other people. Like, I don't know. That could like just be me. Whatever, that's how I feel. It's easier for me to make friends when I'm alone. Of course, like people want to go to the show with their friends, but if that is the one thing that's stopping you, like if the price isn't what's stopping you, if the location isn't what's stopping you, and it's solely that like you don't have someone to go with, I would say do it anyway. Like force your finger to press the checkout button and buy the damn ticket, because you will never experience this moment again. Taylor Swift is not going to do another Eras tour. I really don't think she is. I'm sure she'll have other tours that are also going to be really sick, but to get every single album in one show and every single outfit from like her old shows, like I feel like my childhood, like something in me was being healed watching all of her like albums from when she was 15. I became like heavy into Taylor Swift's music when she put out Red. I listened to her music prior. I just wasn't big into like, oh, every time she releases an album I'm gonna listen, until she put out Red. And then I said no. Moving forward, every album this girl puts out, I am listening to it front to back. Listening to like Enchanted and Fearless and Shoulda Said No, You Belong With Me, Love Story. I literally felt like I went back in time to like my Disney princess bedroom. It took me back to when I was a little girl. There were little girls there too, and I'm like, you weren't even born when Taylor Swift released these songs, but seeing them was like, I was though your age when these songs came out. Her demographic is wild because you have like little kids, like 5-year-olds there, and then you have women like in their 40s, in their 50s, and everybody is dressed in costumes. Everyone is there like for her. It was honestly just a beautiful thing to see. It was a beautiful experience to have, and I am happy that I went, whether I went by myself or not. Like, really recommend that, like, if you're somebody who fears doing things alone, just do it anyway. I feel like the thought of doing something alone is scarier than actually doing it alone. That would have been such a big loss in my life if I just said I'm not gonna go because I don't have anyone who wants to spend that much money or could spend that much money with me, so I'm just gonna sit home and like wish I was there. I'm happy that I spent the money. I'm happy that I did it by myself, and honestly, like, the experience would have been different if I was with people. Like, I might not have met those girls if I was with other people. I might not have talked to the girl who was also by herself if I was with other people. It's a great way to make friends. That is my takeaway. This video is so long, so I need to wrap this up, but I hope that this helps anybody who is going to the show. If you're not going to the show and you're watching it just because you were at the show, or you want to go to the show, or you can't go to the show, like, I hope that you enjoyed spending the time there with me. I tried to film as much as I can because I know that I'm gonna want to watch this back over and over and over. I'm gonna want to show my kids this, and if you are someone who watched it just for the support and you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This is a long ass fucking video, probably my longest video yet. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the damn things, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.
Tell me, have you seen her? Let me wrap my weave up. I'm the trap Selena. Dame más gasolina.